Welcome back to the Small Town Jakes podcast.
Welcome back, everybody.
That's our new corny intro music.
I'm not sure if we'll keep it or not.
Yeah, but we're back. Glad that you guys are listening again. We have been away for a little bit. We've had a lot of different stuff going on, just in our lives, and then also a lot to do with the podcast. I don't know if you want to take it over a little bit more, but we've kind of moved away from the studio that we were working with before and stuff.
Yeah, Workshop Studios has been hosting us
Small Town Jakes podcast
at their studio this whole last year, and they've done a great job
for a year now. Yes,
and it's been completely free.
Yeah,
So now, we're just taking on the podcast ourselves, and
we decided to move away. We love them. We love everything that he did at Workshop Studios. We appreciate it so much. But now it's just the two Jakes. It's me and him producing, doing the whole thing. Jakes on the streets.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll do some we've got some new things on the horizon that will be exciting to listen to. It might steer a little bit more towards the audio focus because we might be going places, or soon as we get. The problem is that we don't have a good camera.
No. So as you can see, if you're watching on YouTube, it's probably just our logo or something, and maybe a couple photos of us while we were recording this or whatever. But we don't currently have a nice fancy camera and stuff to record on. But I mean, that's not really what the podcast is about, anyways.
Yeah, it's about us talking about
stuff,
BSing about whatever it is in this small town.
Exactly. And like you said, we're going to try, we got some battery packs and stuff. We're going to try to go to some different places and record in different places instead of just being locked down in a studio or whatever. We're currently sitting in Jake's kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
And I got to say, the audio is perfect in here.
I love it. Yeah.
And the sun is no longer in your eyes. We're working on a studio.
That is perfect.
We got some stuff to buy, a little bit of some stuff to move around. We're going to actually put the studio here in Jake's house in his spare bedroom, and we're going to turn it into a little studio area.
Yeah. Currently it's my office area.
Yeah. And I'm intruding on that and being like, half of this is going to be a podcast.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Yeah. We'll actually, have an actual set.
Yeah.
And eventually have a camera, because
we'll be like a professional podcast.
Sometime.
We'll basically be Joe Rogan. I mean, we're right there. So, just need more celebrities. If Tom Hanks would ever fucking show up when he says he's going to be here, it's like we give him the chance, and he just. I don't want to talk about Tom right now. If you first-time listener, we have a love-hate relationship with Tom Hanks here. So
I love him. He hates him. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, man.
So, let's get into the episode. So this episode is going to be called Fears and Beers. And it's brought to you by all those deep, dark fears that you have.
Spooky.
Ooh. In November.
Yeah.
We just missed spooky season, so.
Spooky season can be.
Whatever. We were busy.
Yeah.
But we were just going to talk about, not beers. We're just drinking beers, but we're going to talk about fears, rational or irrational, whatever they are. We all have them. So, I don't know, when you brought it up to me, you were like, what do I fear? And I was like, I don't fear anything. Not to be like, oh, I'm a fucking manly man. God, nothing scares me. I'm like, but I think about it. I'm like, I don't really have that many fears. But I do have the natural fears, like human instinct. I do fear heights a little bit. I used to be a roofer and stuff, so it's like you get over it. But right when you get on a roof, especially over a couple stories, you kind of get that little vertigo.
Pumping.
When you get too
get
close
a little
to the
shaky.
edge. Yeah. But then after a couple hours, you're hanging over the edge and you're fine and stuff. But I also have that when you get really close to a cliff, like a big cliff, and the little thing in the back of your head, the void is just jump.
Yeah, Call of
Jump.
the Void.
It's like, no.
It's just
And,
like, oh yeah, just like, oh my gosh,
And
I could totally
yeah, and
die.
I have a huge fear of like more for than me, but like when somebody else is getting close to an edge or something.
Right?
Like my fear for them like takes over. Like
So you just have anxiety
I have so
over.
much anxiety over like somebody else being really close to an edge, and like not even me. Like I could be over there and it wouldn't be that bad, but like somebody else, I'm just like, I don't like.
So do you
this.
think
You're
like
not safe?
I always wonder like just having the ground just like break beneath me, like
oh,
like just have
like quicksand.
yeah,
You
like
have a huge fear.
have you ever
I mean,
been to the end of the world?
yeah. Oh yeah, you mean just like crumbling off?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I never. Yeah, I go to the end of the world all the time, but I stay like 10 feet back, and I'm a big
Yeah.
dude too, so I'm like I don't want to even fucking.
Right. Yeah. So
I'd love to
you
sit
know,
there and kick my feet over the edge and just be like, "This is so cute. Put this on my Instagram." But no, I don't ever get too close. Yeah, I have the same fear because I've had it happen before, where when I was a kid, I was like on this hill, this muddy hillside, and it like gave way, and I like slid all the way down the hill. And ever since then, I was like, no, not getting too close. And I was pretty far back too, but it was just like that little bit of weight, and it just gave out underneath me. And it was like, no.
really? What?
Yeah, I didn't get hurt or anything, but it was like one of those things like shit.
Yeah.
It wasn't like on a mountain or something. It was like in a gravel pit or something like that.
Yeah. And you said it was like when you're a kid. So
Yeah.
those things imprint on you. Like
Yeah.
I remember my uncle, like we were at an air show somewhere, like I think Shelton or something like that. And he had picked me up, and there's like this platform to go up to look inside of a jet fighter. And he had lifted me up and dangled me over the platform, over the edge, so I could see inside the jet fighter. And I freaked out. And I was like, I remember that. It's burned into my brain.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's one of those things that just like becomes like, shit, and I have a fear of this. Like,
but I could climb a tree. I'm okay in trees. Like, I'll
yeah.
But put me close to edges.
Yeah.
It's totally different.
Yeah. It's so weird. Yeah.
I guess there's so many things you can hold on to
in a tree. It's like you grab the side while you're falling down.
The tree's
I don't know.
kind of blocking the view, how high you actually are.
And then another one, like a fear of darkness. I'm not
Are
afraid.
you afraid of the dark?
I used to watch that show all the time.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah, no, I do I have that like human instinct of like I have a little bit of fear in the dark, you know. It's not like I have to have a nightlight or anything, but when you're like walking through the woods in the middle of the night or something, you know,
You just get that creepy,
you just get that like
I'm being watched feeling, and
Yeah.
you're just like,
just that shiver up your spine, just oh god. Yeah.
yeah, that's primal. That's totally like reptilian brain, like survival.
Yeah, and I mean
predator versus prey.
it's a good thing. It's good natural instincts. As a human, you shouldn't like, you know, it's you should have that fear of like falling and dying.
Yeah.
It's like that should be imprinted in you. You shouldn't be out when it's dark if you're a human, because you should be like in your fucking cave staying safe as like a primal human being.
Instincts
If
are
you're-
so
yeah.
weird when you think about it. It's
Yeah.
just like, it's just somehow you already know it. It's like, and you weren't taught it.
Yeah.
It is the weirdest thing in the world to me that like a bird can go build a nest and then like get some eggs and goes, I've never seen these before. And then,
oh, I have a bunch of round babies.
yeah.
And then poof, a bunch of little birds pop out. Like, oh shit, no, I got like regular, weird, fucking naked little dinosaur things.
Okay, I guess I gotta go get worms. You
Yeah.
know?
Oh shit, I need more worms than.
Or they're like already had the worms at the ready for some reason. How did they know?
No, I thought I just gave birth to like 4 little blue rocks. It's like I didn't have to feed them shits or nothing. Guess what, bird mama? It gets harder. Shout out to all the birds that listen.
Yeah.
Tweet, motherfucker.
tweet.
Tweet.
I was speaking of Twitter. Yeah. Apparently the world's falling apart over some Twitter stuff, and I'm not up to date on any of the news.
I haven't had
and
Twitter.
I don't have Twitter.
Like 8 years
Never
or
had
something. I only had it to follow like one podcast. Actually, it was to follow a podcast. It was to follow the Edumacation podcast.
Oh, right.
Which is one of the podcasts that really made me want to start a podcast. It was with Kevin Smith and Amy Calvert.
No, that was a great one.
And then I got the...
We used to listen to those.
Yeah, we used to listen to those together all the time. Just sit around and drink beers, listen to the fucking Edumacation podcast and laugh. And then we're like, we should do that someday. And guess what? It's been 10 years and we're finally figuring it out.
We finally put down the dollars.
Yeah, and I only got it because it was the tattoo on my leg was a character from the podcast. And like I sent it to, I tagged Kevin Smith in it because he was really into Twitter. And so like I put him on there, and then like he shared it and stuff or whatever and liked it and commented on it and everything. And I literally just had Twitter for like a week just to do that. Like, talk to Kevin Smith. Okay, I'm cool. He's acknowledged my tattoo. And
he knows I exist.
Yes, yeah.
He's
and
aware
then
of my existence.
I did that, and then they talked about me on the next podcast.
Isn't that crazy? That's cool.
And they talked about me for like 5 minutes, and he went into this whole scenario of like, what if I stop doing that character on the podcast? And be this whole misery thing where he takes me up in a cabin, and he's like, you're gonna do the emo goldfish character. Okay. But yeah.
Another one with the primal fears though is like arachnids and reptiles.
Yes, I mean that's why we have like
spiders and snakes.
They say that like
scorpions.
you can feel an ant on crawling on your skin, your hairs and stuff.
Yeah, that we're so sensitive.
We're so sensitive, but yeah, it's crazy. That shit can happen, but then I can like cut the fuck out of myself and just be like, when did that happen? I didn't even remember that shit, but like I can feel a little spider crawling across me.
Right?
Like have a huge bruise on my leg and be like,
I never thought about that. Like,
man, I don't even remember how I did that.
Getting the sense and you just immediately want to swipe it off or whatever. Yeah.
That's a good thing to have. So.
When you see somebody like just freak out over a spider.
Yeah, like walking through a spider web. Mm-hmm. And then you're walking through a spider web, and there's like people that see you, but like nobody sees the spider web, and you're just freaking out. And they're like, "Oh my god, did you see that guy over there? He was just walking past that tree, and they're just fucking freaking out, man. Oh my god, he just went crazy over there." I can't take credit for that joke. It's actually from an old stand-up.
Yeah, I was like,
he's like, same thing when little bee comes around. Nobody sees the bee. They just see you freaking out and flailing.
Is that Tommy Boy or was it Black Sheep where Chris Farley and David Spade jumped out of the car, just do what I do, follow my lead, and they were getting pulled over, and they like jumped out and they just started like going, oh god, and they were like freaking out, and they're like, bees.
Yeah, I think get the hell out of here. Yeah,
like that's why we were swerving.
Yeah,
instant alibi.
Oh, so if y'all are getting pulled over for a Dewey, just try that. It's not going to work at night because bees aren't out at night. But if you're daytime drinking,
it'll be a funny dash cam video.
For those of you who daytime drink,
yeah,
you're swerving, just get out and freak out and just tell them they're bees. People don't like bees. I don't blame them. Bees suck. I like bees. Honeybees are great and stuff. Me and honeybees, we're good. But like wasps and shit, you can go fuck themselves.
Yeah,
those little fucking
dude. Oh man,
fucking demons with wings.
Cooking up this summer, and we were having a dinner outside, and it was like pulled pork or something.
They're big meat eaters. They fucking
we did
meat.
Pulled pork, and we were outside, and we're all having a good time, and then all of a sudden this like two wasps were like coming in and just like, oh, what do we have here? Yeah. They're like the rudest dinner guests ever.
Fuck yeah,
they
dude.
just came in, like landed on my plate. I was like, don't you do it, bee. Don't you do it. And he's like, I watched him chew a bit of pork off, just enough where he like could fly away with it.
Yeah.
It's like, what a dick.
And it's like, you're not going to do shit. It's like this little tiny thing, but you have a
like
huge fear of it. You're like,
such a
I
thug.
don't
It
wanna
was
get
like, that
stung.
was a thug move. I was
I
like,
don't want to get
Jesus.
stuck. This fucking bee's probably, this fucking wasp probably got tattoos.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can't
I was
see
like-
him.
I was-
I can't see him, but I'm assuming he's got tattoos.
I got up,
I mean,
was
does he
like,
get it like? Is there like a tattoo wasp artist that like uses his stinger and
oh, yeah.
just dips it in a
funny.
little bit of ink? Yeah. All right, somebody draw that. That's cute as shit. Well, I think we're about at the time that we are gonna take a break as soon as you say what you need to say.
Yeah, it's just a quick study that I had seen about these fears, and if you flash a bunch of images in front of your face, all at a really quick speed, where it's like you can't even figure out what they are.
Yeah, it's just
But
micro
but as soon
expressions.
as you drop in a photo of a spider or a scorpion and snakes and stuff, it will immediately you'll be able to like pick up those, like that's one of our primal.
And it's
things
like you
is
won't
we can-
even
we can
realize it.
recognize it
Yeah.
faster than anything else. Our brain prioritizes that first. It's really interesting.
It's fears, man.
Yeah, mhm.
It's fight or flight.
yeah.
It's what we all have, and so yeah, it's definitely one of those things that it's like I've seen those videos, and it's just micro expressions of people. They're just like seeing a bunch of things, and then it's just a micro like expression of like a little tiny bit of fear, and it's just like quickly in their eyes, and then goes away because it's like with the other images something else, and then you throw that in, and it's just like and it's just like your pupils just for a second get bigger and shit, and it's like
your brain picks it up. Or if it's a picture of a lock or a key or a door or whatever, it's like nothing really happens.
Yeah.
Nothing sparks. Of
and
course,
it's
those
like
are new
snake,
things.
and it's like okay, all right, yeah. But so yeah, the human mind, the human body is a fucking amazing things, and the things they can do with like just knowing that it should have fears and stuff. But we'll get into irrational fears when we get back. So we're going to take a quick break.
All right, quick break. We'll be right back here to listen to one of our sponsors.
We're back here with the owner of Carl's Corn.
Carl's Corn
It's got the juice. All right, thanks, Carl. We're done.
Thanks.
Get the fuck out of here.
About the juice.
No, shut up, Carl. Shut up, Carl.
Did you tell him about the juice?
Yes, we told him about the juice, Carl. Thank you for sponsoring one of our podcasts.
Storms. Some people are really afraid of storms. Some people love them. I thought that was kind of interesting.
I have like night terrors and sleep paralysis. I have sleep paralysis, which is fucking.
All I have are night terrors. Such a small statement.
Sometimes I dream. Okay, so we're back from our break, and we're gonna talk a little bit about like one of the things like I have night terrors. I also have sleep paralysis, which is like fear to the max. So it's like you
wake up and you're thinking you're in the middle of dying or something like that.
You're dreaming something fucking horrible is happening to you or whatever. Most of the shit that it's like scary, like demonic, like witches and stuff like that. It's like very scary movie shit.
Okay.
Like horrible stuff. And then like I'll wake up, but I can't move my body. And I'm stuck in there, and it's like your eyes can move, basically is all, and like you can breathe, but you're still in a dream state. So what's happening to you in the dream is happening to you while you're awake, but you can't move. And it usually lasts about 15 seconds for people, sometimes up to like a minute, some people up to like 3 or 4 minutes. And you're just sitting there and you're like trying your hardest to scream.
Right.
Because you're like conscious, but like let's say that somebody who was attacking you in the dream is now in your like reality.
Yeah.
And it's happening to you, and you feel everything that you were feeling in the dream, but it's real, and you can't fucking move. And that is fucking, that's horrible. And then as soon as you're just trying to get out of it, because
I'm trying to understand this
it's like
condition, because it's like
it's a dream, but it's like
Like, but if you were to
real.
like wake up and feel like you're paralyzed, you know, I know that your brain can give a function of like shutting off the impulses to your limbs. So just when you are in a nightmare, when you're sleeping, you're not like thrashing about. You're just like
Yeah.
kind of like maybe a little bit of twitch. Um,
Yeah, I
But-
know. And I would just like when I was finally came out of
I
it,
just
I
found that fascinating.
literally like sit up and just be like, oh shit, you know.
That got real that
Yeah.
time.
And then like I also have it's kind of like I'll fall back into the same dream if I go back to sleep immediately, which
Yeah.
I'm one of those
Reoccurring
people,
dreams,
very
okay.
rare person. I can slip back into a dream within 30 seconds. I can hit REM sleep in like 2 minutes. Like
Yeah.
I can't ever fall asleep, but then when I do, like if I wake up, I can be back into REM sleep like that. I mean, it's just
Alright.
it's crazy how fast I can go back into it. But then I slip back into the same dream. And it's usually like the
Yeah.
night terror ones, and it's like fuck, I'm
Jeez.
back.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so those are just, you know, it's on that line of like fears, dude. Like some of that shit. I don't fear that much out in the world. I fear a lot of the shit in my mind. Just like
Right.
what the human brain can create is
Right, yeah.
absolutely amazing. I mean,
Awe-inspiring and magnificent,
terrifying
and
in the same
terrifying
time.
and
yes.
horrifying. And,
Yeah, but I mean, that's just something I've learned to live with. I've had sleep paralysis since I was a little kid.
really?
Yeah.
How often does this happen?
It just matters on my mental state a lot too. But
So
usually,
it happens more during high stress times.
Yeah,
or-
yeah. When life's shit, it happens more often. But when life's good, it's like once a month or something like that.
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, once
There's
every
always
couple
one
months.
lumen
But
in
yeah,
the
but
distance.
when life gets shitty, it comes back more often, you know, and stuff like that. But that's why I try to stay positive and not be shitty.
Yeah. I get that.
Yeah, don't we all?
That's no, I've heard of all those that sort of stuff happening. I had no idea that you suffered from that or ever even experienced that, and that's crazy.
Yeah, and if you look it up, it's kind of a rare thing, but like there's these really good like folk stories behind it. It's been happening to people forever. And if you ever want to look up some very scary shit on Google Images, look up the Boo Hag. It's called the Boo Hag.
Boo
And
Hag.
it's like a witch or kind of like a demon that it basically like sits on your chest and like holds you down while you're sleeping, but you're awake. So it's like it's been happening to people forever, and it's like this demon
That's scary.
that sits on your chest,
Jesus.
and you can't move, and you can't really breathe, and but you're awake, but you're asleep. So yeah, so look up the Boo Hag, everybody. It's very scary imaging.
Yeah.
But yeah, sleep paralysis. It's been around for a long time, and I fear it. I don't like it, but I got it. I live with it.
I'll want to move on to
Okay, yeah, something. Let's go to some cheerful fears.
which
I have a big fear of lollipops and candy canes, to be honest with you. Just
I
positive as shit.
I kind of have like an irrational fear of like doing something wrong that like down the line affects something like badly, and then it comes back to me, and it's just like
Karma, kind of.
yeah
Yeah.
like it, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I do this. Like, I live my life trying to, like, do the best shit because I don't know what the fuck's coming down the line. Like, I do this, maybe this is going to happen, you know? And that's why I think we both live our lives as, like, good dudes because I'd rather do nice things and hope that some good comes down the line than be shit. And then
Right.
maybe I'll get fucked over later. But I mean, it
Right,
seems
but-
that works out for a lot of people, though. I'm not sure if karma is real.
But like, you know, so like
'Cause
when I was working at
it ain't working
LibTech,
this
like,
way.
this is, and it happens in multiple ways. Like, you know, it's like, oh man, if I don't laminate this board correctly and well, it might delaminate on a
Oh, yeah.
rider that's going down the mountain
Oh, yeah.
at the worst possible time.
Just because you didn't want, you're just fucking whatever. I'm not gonna fit.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, just because that. So you always.
It's like I kind of like I put everything in a really high stakes manner.
Yeah.
And
Me, I do. I
try
totally
to-
do too. Yeah.
yeah, I try to be reasonable about my fears and not let them really like take over like that.
Yeah.
Like, but I definitely got that for sure.
God, now I feel like some of those snowboards I laid up were maybe dry in some spots. They're gonna burst and someone's gonna die, and it's gonna be my fault.
It's
Wilson.
not gonna work.
Oh,
It's
God.
not gonna be. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
I don't know if we discussed this before, but I went back to working in the snowboard factory that me and Jake
Yeah.
met at 10 years ago.
And I love the factory. I love the place.
Oh, dude,
I hated to leave. I remember like saying goodbye to some of the people, and I'm like fucking tearing.
Everybody,
up.
dude,
I'm like,
everybody
man.
when I came back was just like, everybody was like, how's Jake Wilson doing? Is Jake Wilson coming back? And I was like,
No
oh,
way.
yeah. No, I tried to convince him, but he makes a lot more money than you could ever pay him. Now that Wilson's like rolling in the dough, but, like
Jeez.
it's factory work. So, but I know you'd come back any day if they're willing
dude,
to pay you what you make right now.
if I could have the position that I want there, and
Yeah. But anyways, it's fucking fun being back there. There's
Yeah.
nobody I know.
I spent 8 years there,
Yeah.
and like up until then, 2 years was my max. Everywhere else,
8 years is a long time.
yeah, and
No, it's like a family out there. And I mean, there's still probably like 10 people that I know that I used to work with there. 10 or 15 people that I used to know that I worked with. And everybody's been like welcoming me back with like fucking open arms. Just like, Jake, holy shit, you're back, man. And
yeah,
everybody's like, oh, so like, how's life? Why are you back at Mervyn? Like, well, obviously life has just been amazing for me so far. And I was like, you know, getting close to retirement, and then I just decided to come back and just work at Mervyn. No, yeah. Life kind of shit on me, but you know what? The Mervyn family was standing there with open arms. It's
Yeah.
like, I need work. I applied, and they called me the next morning.
yeah, no,
And they were like, yes, please come back. So, it's cool. I
Yeah.
like working back there.
that's good.
I was really good at the job.
You know, I'm like,
You're a little
I
jelly.
really
You're
am a little jelly that like, because the thing was, it was a big family, and yeah, we would get together and hang out after work, and
Yeah.
it's like that's a big difference between like coworkers and friends. Like,
Yeah, and like those guys
those
don't.
were all friends
Those
that I
guys
worked
don't
with
really
there.
do it. I guess that everybody used to do that, and then like COVID hit, and nobody ever like got back into the routine of like hanging out after work and stuff. But I was like, I'm gonna fix that. Do a fucking thing. Just get it. Everybody come to this one bar after work or whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, that'd be cool.
But yeah, we met. I met so many good friends. Great fucking friends that I'm still friends with.
Yep.
From
Me too.
before. None of them work out there anymore, but I am bringing one of my favorite people. She used to work there. We didn't work together, but like she's coming back to work there, and so she's gonna take my position, and I'm in layup, and I'm gonna go back to finishing what I used to do. So it's like one of my fucking best friends is gonna come back and start working with me, which I'm like, this is fucking awesome too.
Yeah.
Maybe we can ride together and like share gas because shit, I hate driving out to Carlsberg.
Yeah, I'm like very close to like tooting the old horn, going like assemble, like just like
Weekend crew assemble.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like hitting up Travis, both Travises, and
Yeah, Conan. Yeah, no, we need to. We need
But,
to get the old crew back together. Maybe, I mean,
we need to hang out.
everybody's busy and they got kids
we need to
and
have
shit
a get together,
now,
like an adult hangout where there's like, I got my kids now.
Yeah, exactly.
They control every moment of my life.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do it somewhere big so like everybody can bring their families and shit. But okay, I think we're about to take another break. I don't think we have a sponsor for this one, but I'll just go with this. Next break is sponsored by when you say the wrong thing to the waiter on accident. When the waiter puts down your food and he says, "Enjoy your meal," and you say, "You too," and then that's all you can think about. How's he gonna enjoy my meal? We'll be right back. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Dip and swing, and here we go.
Welcome back, everybody. We used the same shitty intro that we did at the first one to come back to the...
It's not shitty, it's just generic.
Okay. It's free. So,
yeah.
Welcome back to the Small Town Jakes podcast. We were talking about fears, and
we were going to get back into it about a few different other little topics. We have a little bit more time, and
yes, and we have a little bit more beers. And then so we're going to get back into a little bit more of those fears.
Okay, yeah. Fear of storms.
Yeah.
Have you ever been afraid of like trees coming down on your house?
I used to be when I was young. I had a big fear of storms because like I lived out in Joyce, and it was like sometimes it got scary.
Yeah, I imagine, because Joyce, I mean, especially I grew up on the mountain up there and just surrounded by fir trees, and those limbs come down all the time. And you know, when the trees come up and they uproot, you look at what they have for a root system, and you're like, that's all that's holding that big tree up. Much.
Yeah.
And when you get the right conditions, when it gets wet and then it gets windy, it gets really scary.
When I was younger, I always had like the fear of storms. You know, the storms come, like the lightning and stuff. You're like a kid in your bed and just like, oh my God. But now as an adult, I actually love storms.
Yeah.
I love to like lay in bed and just like hear the rain smashing up against the roof and the side of the window and stuff, and just be like, know that you're comfy in your room as long as the power is not off.
Right.
That's when it sucks. But if I'm sitting there and like watching my TV shows and looking at my phone, I'm nice and comfy in my bed, and then I can kind of hear the storm outside. That's great. Yeah.
I've spent many an hour just staring off at a storm, like just hoping to get glimpses of lightning strikes, because just like I just love catching lightning strikes.
And it sounds like that sound of a beer opening. Whoa,
I got scared.
That lightning sounds like it's having a good time.
Yeah. I also had like
when I was a kid, I loved to count how far away, because they say like every second is a mile or whatever.
Second is a mile.
Yeah.
That's the speed of sound, I guess, is what they're trying to, which is 700 something miles an hour, or maybe 800. I'm not quite up to date.
We're not all on math on this. This podcast is not about math in any way. But yeah, I remember like listening, like counting down, like how far away is it?
Yeah, and then over time, after I remember laying in my bed counting, and then over time realizing that the storm was moving away from the house.
Yeah. Or moving towards the house and being like, oh my God, that's a mile away. Oh, and then you hear the lightning and the thunder at the exact same time. Yeah. Or you see the lightning and hear the thunder at the same time, and you're like, oh, that's right outside.
Yeah.
But we have nothing compared to like some of the other places in the country.
No, it's actually.
But it's more exciting up here when you see it, because it's like, oh, we don't really get to see it.
Yeah. And, it's nothing like natural disaster related. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like, oh, it's a fun storm.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
let's go out on the deck and watch it. No, I remember my parents going out on the deck and watching lightning and thunderstorms when I was a kid.
Yeah, it's super romantic.
Not as romantic as a stranger at the door. Are you afraid of a stranger
at your door? I mean, I guess it matters on what the stranger appears. Like, who's the stranger?
Not expecting anybody.
God, like a clown with like balloons and stuff. At first, I'd be like, "Oh, there's a clown here," and then I'd be like, "Wait, no, why is there a clown at my door? This seems, yeah." No, somebody
Or-
just
or like-
knocking at your door in the middle of the night. Yeah, no, that shit's
Yeah, or
I don't like that.
yeah, burglar, someone breaking in.
Yeah,
Fear of like, okay, what am I gonna do?
I'd feel like I'd grab a machete and I'd strip naked, and then just cover myself in red paint so it looks like blood, and then I'd pop out, and they'd be
You
like,
got to turn on the lights, then pop out because
I know, and I have to have the paint there and everything. I gotta like derobe, grab the fucking machete, cover myself in blood, and then pop out to the burglar, just to have them be like, "Fuck, I'm robbing the wrong house." So I have a lot of stuff right next to my bed, and that's just that one scenario. I mean,
like toothpicks I could throw. Like,
oh my god, no! I have so many other scenarios. Yeah. Ninja shows up. Yeah, I got a gang of shit next to my bed. There's a lot of stuff. But yeah, no. To be honest, yeah, I do kind of fear that shit. Like stranger just showing up and we can do with it.
yeah. I remember laying in bed when I was younger and just like being like, okay, if somebody's gonna break in, what am I gonna do? It's a fight or flight, you know. Just I was gonna like throw either something or other that was in my room, and then like duck out the other way. I was like, or I could jump out my window but I have to remove the screen first.
Kick the screen out. Yeah, it's
And just kick it out.
yeah.
Just Power Man 5000 that thing out the window.
That's an old metal band. I don't think you can Power Man 5000 anything anymore. That's like taking a screen out as a late man in his late 40s. Power Man 5000.
I don't know why I said that. I was looking for
I know.
So,
But
like,
it's great. I love it. We'll keep it in there. We're not going to take that out.
okay, all right, yeah.
Yeah. So, next fear.
Fear of failure.
Yeah.
Fear of like, you know,
Disappointment.
why should I?
Disappointing people.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
you know,
Shit.
somebody goes,
Shit
oh,
just
Jay could
got
do
really
this.
Real. Yeah.
Jake could do this, and then let's get Jake to do it. And I'm like, okay, now it's up to me, or else they'll like lose their faith in me.
Yeah.
I'm like,
No, yeah, I definitely, you're right, I do have fears. Yeah, definitely one of those. Very disappointing, just like disappointing everybody, just like that look that you get from them, like...
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah, like you could be so much better.
Damn
I'm
it.
not right now, but like I will be someday. give me a minute. Oh
Yeah.
God, no, God.
well,
I'm
that
gonna wipe a tear away. Next,
Yeah, I know.
one. Next fear. Next fear.
Fear of death. Fear of death.
I have no fear of death.
I don't either.
Yeah.
That's something that I know that's out of my control unless I'm like some kind of daredevil or you know, like it's.
I used to fear death a lot when I was, you know, I guess when I was younger, and I was like, but no, I mean, but that's another reason why I live my life every fucking day, knowing that tomorrow isn't promised.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is not promised to anybody. This evening's not promised to me.
Right.
I could die right now on the podcast, you know, brain aneurysm.
Yeah.
Boom, I'm gone.
Let you know, I would release it just out of respect.
You would still put this podcast. Yeah, but no, I know that and it took me a while to realize that, yeah, I mean, there's no fucking guarantee of tomorrow. So that's why I try to live my life every single fucking day. Every time I talk to somebody, people always say, why are you so sweet to me? Why are you so nice to me? Why are you so thoughtful? I always want to leave whoever I'm talking to, whatever I'm doing, I always want to leave somebody with a good, positive last words. Because I could drive home, I still want you to know that you're a fucking great person before I leave, because I don't know if this last time I'm going to talk to you, because nobody's guaranteed anything. So
completely agree.
Yeah, I never want to leave on a bad note with anybody in my life anymore. I can't do that. Like, no matter what the fuck it is, I'm still going to be like, okay, well, whatever. All right. But still, you're fucking awesome. And
me as a young boyfriend, I didn't want to, like, with my girlfriend, we're never gonna go to sleep angry. It's like, we have to squash this. We can't.
That's a great fucking way to live your life.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in a relationship or something. But yeah, whenever I talk to somebody, I never want to leave on a bad note, no matter what we're talking about. Last thing that they hear from me, even if it's just a text, or last thing I say before I hang up the phone, I want it to be positive, because if I'm gone, I want the very last memory of me from somebody to be a positive one. I never want it to be a negative one.
Oh, hell yeah.
Unless I hate you, then you can go fuck yourself.
And I want that last one to be like the sickest burn ever, and then I
for
die.
the rest of your life. Yes.
So do we want to, I think we want to go on to a next segment that we will call
Deep Thoughts with Jake and Jake.
Deep Thoughts. I'm thinking hard.
About thoughts. Okay, while you're laughing, I will go into my first thing, and it just kind of quotes and things to live by, and we thought we'd start throwing this in the podcast because it's fun and it's what we like to do, so shut up and listen.
Yeah.
So my quote is it's from Alan Waits. He's a philosopher, and a lot of his stuff has really helped me through the last couple of fucking years of my life. And I found him about 3 years ago, and I like to listen to his stuff, and it's very not life changing, but like it's kind of eye opening stuff. So,
right. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So one of my favorite quotes from him is, all right, here we go, is it's better to have a short life that is full of what you like doing than a long life spent in a miserable way. Which is just
every word of that is true. You can't take away any words out of that. Like, every word is.
It's just, I mean, it's better to live a short life. It's full of what you like doing. Just do what the fuck makes you happy. The point in life is to be happy.
Make a podcast.
And it's better than living a long life in a miserable way. And it's a lot about like, don't focus your life on like trying to make money and go for retirement and do this and set up all these huge,
don't get lost.
Ridiculous goals.
Don't get lost in the
money and the rat race.
I
mean, just it's not worth it to live your life in that miserable way. And yes, maybe you'll live like a longer life, and this and that, and it's like you'll have
wise words.
all this shit, but like it's so much better to just like be with the people you love and do the things that you want to do. And maybe you don't make as much money, as somebody else that's trying to just be better than their neighbor. And I'm going to live my long life in a miserable way, just trying to capture the money and the material things, when you could just have another life that you just do what makes you happy and spend time with people that make you happy and do those things. And maybe don't have all those material things and stuff in life, but you're still going to be happy, and that's so much more important than having all that shit. So that's kind of what I take from that quote and kind of what he said. So
deep thoughts with Jake
and Jake. Okay, let's hear yours.
I got one.
Jake Wilson's deep thought.
All right, and this is actually a pretty short quote, but I think it's got some weight to it, and when
not Alan Waits.
It might be. I'm not even sure. I'm not sure who this is from. I honestly don't.
Yeah.
But
let's hear it.
Here it is. Is to worry is to misuse the imagination.
Yeah. Wow.
Like, if you're gonna spend time worrying,
yeah, that is an amazing fucking quote right there.
Because worrying is you just thinking about all the bad stuff that could happen for this one encounter, this part of your life that you're
just
in.
Overthinking about things that never have happened or maybe never will happen.
Exactly, and you're putting yourself through that.
Yeah.
So why put yourself through that?
Yeah, it's a huge waste of the imagination. You have so much to do with your mind. Why spend it? It's
kind of along the same lines of that one there, and having anxiety over certain things, and it's like, oh, if I could just, see that I'm worrying about it and go, oh, I don't need to spend my time.
Yeah.
I don't need to spend my emotions and really invest in this feeling that's going to ultimately, like, make me all stressed out.
And when you worry, you live your life in the future. And you can't keep living your life in the future. You're worrying for the future. Stop living for the future. Live in the present. Live it with what you have right now and be happy with it, because nobody's promised the future. You can worry about something and never make it to the point where you even get to that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm saying, today could be our last day. Why spend your time worrying about tomorrow when it's not promised? Stop worrying about tomorrow. I'm not saying worry about today. I'm saying try to live your life in today and just appreciate what you have and that you have it, rather than thinking I'm promised the future and I need to poke holes in what may happen.
Well said. Yeah. With that, I think we are nearing the end of our time here tonight. I think it's been a fun new format. Let us know if you enjoyed this more shorter, more condensed version of the podcast, and this is where we're actually going to be taking it. And thanks, Jake, for opening up about a lot of stuff. A
lot of shit poured out today.
Dude, this is a big episode. You better thank this man.
Yeah. So really happy to be back in it. We're doing our own thing now, and so we really appreciate everything. We're going to be back for an after hours, and we will talk to you guys shortly. Love y'all.
All right, peace.
And we're back, everybody, with the after hours, and
we're back real quick. Let's
pause for just a minute. You stop it. No, we're pointing at each other. So thank you guys for coming back for the after hours. This after hours is we're just briefly going to talk about, it's November, and it's Men's Health Awareness Month. Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Men's mental health. Yeah, I mean that's kind of what we're talking about. So it's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. It's November, and we just wanted to quickly talk about check in on your friend, check in on a man in your life, check in on your brother, check in on your boyfriend, check in on your friend, check in on your uncle, check in on your fucking dad, check in on everybody, because sometimes shit can get pretty bad for guys, and we have a really there's a real stigma out there about men not sharing about
feelings,
how they're feeling
and not like really
expressing themselves,
bottling everything down, like tamp it down, don't feel,
cover it in booze. Yeah, you're good. No, and if you are a guy listening to the podcast and like you're doing shitty, like we always say, get a hold of me or Jake Wilson. And if you can't get a hold of us for some reason and you just need somebody to talk to or whatever, the new suicide hotline is 988. And like I actually had written down like this thing about like check up on friends, don't isolate, because isolating is one of the worst things that you can do when you're in that bad place, is isolating and keeping away from everybody who actually cares about you and wants you to be okay. And so I had this thing that said, don't isolate, and then it was already that said call 988. So to try to remember that, don't isolate, call 988. It's the new suicide hotline. It's suicide crisis prevention hotline. Instead of like 1-800 fucking all these numbers and stuff, just remember, call 988 if you need somebody. And if you may not be one of those people, try to be one of those people that's there for those people. If maybe you recognize that somebody's kind of been distant for a while, just check in on them. Just say hi. Are you okay? And maybe they might not open up with everything.
I'm so sorry.
But at least you can try to get them to get out and do something. Change the regular. Stop isolating. Get out there. Like the other day, I was doing kind of shitty, and Jake got a hold of me and was like, "Hey, man, you want to come over and just have a beer and talk about the podcast?" And I was like, "You know what? I really needed that." Yes. I was literally just hanging out by myself.
Come out and hang.
And I was like, cool. And I went over there and totally changed my attitude about stuff. And I was like, all right, yeah. And,
hell yeah.
Yeah. So
it's good.
And just do that for your friends is kind of what we're saying. And just think about it this month.
Just care about one another.
God. He's singing, you guys.
All right, guys.
What number do I call for that?
Thanks for coming out, or I say that like
thanks for coming out, like everybody's standing here behind us. But no, we appreciate you guys. We really appreciate you coming back. And like you said, this it's that time of year. Well, it should be every fucking day of the year. But yeah, think about your friends, check in on them, make sure they're okay, because sometimes life can get shit, and it's hard for some people to let people know that life is shitty. So
yeah, especially
ask somebody every once in a while. And and I mean it's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, but like also girls, check in on them too.
Women, ladies,
everybody. Like I mean,
all the sorts, everybody.
People. Yeah. All right. We love you guys. We appreciate you coming back. And we will be back with another podcast as soon as the next one comes out.
Yeah. Small Town Jakes is ending. Good night, everybody.
Later. We love you. Bye.